the Charming Giraffe, and today we are going to mix up this Amsterdam white, titanium white. I know a lot of people use it for different techniques, so I bought some, and we're going to mix it up and save it for another pour for another day. I already put a little bit in the cup here. I'm going to kind of do the same ratios that I do with all of my paints. There's not a lot in here because the bottle I have is smaller than my normal bottles. So we're just going to make do. So I'm just going to pour my Floetrol, strain it right into the cup. I always strain my Floetrol, just so you know. And I always strain my paints too. So I'll show you that in just a second. So that was intended to be about a 1-to-2 ratio, so 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol. It turned out to be maybe just barely more than that, like a little bit more Floetrol than the 2 parts, so maybe like 1 part paint to 1.5 part, or sorry, 1 part paint to 2.5 parts Floetrol. Just because I accidentally did that. Not really because of anything specific, just it's hard to tell how much you're pouring when you're pouring it through the strainer. So I'm going to stir it up. It's definitely thick. Thicker than I would want for pouring. And then I will add some water to it. It's not too bad. We'll add just a smidge of water. There's really not a way for me to tell you the ratio on the water because it just depends on what your paint thickness is. If I used less Floetrol, then I would need more water. But since I had a little bit more than I intended to pour in there, I didn't need as much water. And then since I put the paint in the bottom, I want to try to scrape the bottom as much as I can. I think I normally do put the paint in the bottom, and with any other color, you stir until it's the right color because you can see the white Floetrol kind of come to life with the color you put in the bottom of the cup, and that's how you know like that you're mixing it and doing it well. But with it being white, it's kind of hard to see. But that is great. I like it. I like the consistency here. We're going to clean the strainer. And this isn't too important since this was Floetrol. There wasn't a whole bunch of chunks or anything. But if you were using colors, then I always try to put mix my lightest color first. So if I had a whole day of mixing paint, I'd mix white and then yellow and then orange, then red. Then normally with my red, what I'll do is I'll mix like pink or something, like just to keep that color line going, and then maybe start something new and do like greens and then blues and then black, so it's just getting darker and darker. I normally pour it into another cup first before straining it into the bottle because my normal bottles have little bitty openings, but this one has a little bit bigger opening and I don't have another cup to strain it into, so we're just going to have to be coordinated. Do you trust that I am coordinated? I don't. Is it working? This part might not be as important, but I always do it. I did a painting one time several years ago, and I still had strained my Floetrol, but I didn't strain my paint, and it came out all kinds of bumpy. It was okay. It just wasn't what I was going for, and so I was a little disappointed when I got it, like when it finished drying, and I noticed because it looked completely smooth when I poured it, but when it dried, there's all these little paint chunks. So that's why I strained the paint too, and I have not had the problem since, as long as I strain it. Sometimes I just don't strain it because I either just don't have the time or the extra cups or whatever reason. I just don't. And it's okay. You just have to be prepared for the outcome of that. So that might mean babying your painting more, watching it, seeing how it's drying. When you first pour it, you know, look it over really well to make sure there's no paint chunks. If you have a torch, torch it so you can see what's air bubbles and what's paint chunks, etc. This definitely takes more time than, you know, just mixing it in the bottle, but I like the quality of the paintings when I do it this way versus not. So I'm willing to take that extra time to get the quality right. So, did that work? Or did that all go down the side? That all went down the side. Were you screaming at the camera or at the video? While I'm here just talking away at you and all the paint's going down the side? It'll be okay. Not really too much I can do about it now. But we got a good, I actually did really well on portioning it. It looks like such little amount of paint in that cup, but I got a good amount and it didn't overflow the cup. So I am happy. So with all of that being said, that's how I mix this up. If you mix it up differently, let me know in the comments. And then if you have any specific techniques that you want me to use this paint with, let's see if I can get my words out today, use the Amsterdam titanium white with specific techniques that you have in mind or that you've seen that you want me to try, leave those in the comments as well. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and it makes you happy.